So we're here today to mark and celebrate the launch of the new Digital 3 and 4 coding and multiplex platform, which BT have built with the Thames help. For us, it's a hugely important development because it's taken us away from what was in one sense, a sort of slightly old-fashioned sort of appliance-based way of doing these services into a full virtual cloud-based environment. Now, whilst that's lots of language, the key thing gives us is flexibility, adaptability, hopefully a much more efficient way of delivering the service. And I think future-proofing the delivery of DTT services for the future, which I think for both Channel 4 and ITV is a really important part of their business. Digital television relies on a thing called MPEG, which basically takes a video signal and reduces the amount of data it's needed to transmit it to viewers. This is called compression. So therefore, Digital 3 and 4 operates on the fact that we compress the content from the broadcasters into a much smaller amount of information and then combine it in a specific signal called a multiplex, which means that we can put more than one television service on one channel, one frequency to viewers. Digital 3 and 4 now is carrying 13 TV services, each compressed and multiplex together and then delivered to the viewers. So that's broadly the benefit of digital television, and the fact that this platform has actually enabled us to increase the number of services from 12, we hope, to 14 in the near future. It means we get more services to viewers at hopefully an efficient cost. This project has enabled us to sort of modernize how we gather the content from the broadcasters, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, S4C, how we combine it together to put it into a system which actually is capable of being broadcast, how we get it to the transmitters and how we get it to the viewers. Internally, for us and ITV and Channel 4 specifically, what it meant that we'd modernized how we were delivering. We actually had a system which was technology future looking. It enables us to look forward to actually transition how we combine services. We can add or take away services much more simply now. If their playout locations change, we can adapt that very quickly and easily. Whereas the old systems, it would have taken 6 months of a lot of energy and effort and money to transition. We can do that fairly simply and easily now.
We worked collaboratively with the customer and we set up a pitch quality analysis which showed that for the same pitch quality and bandwidth, we could now move from 12 channels to 14 channels. And the actual result was that no one could tell the difference whether there were 12 channels, 13 channels or 14 channels. So it just proved to ITV and Channel 4, Digital 3 and 4, that they would be able to actually launch their new multiplex system with 14 channels.
In the context of D3.4, we have a system that's probably the most complex anywhere in the world. It's, I think, the first time that we have deployed Kubernetes-based microservices architecture in conjunction with our colleagues at ATEM, and in terms of scale, it is as big as anything that you're going to see. D3 and 4 Code and Mux project was more than a Code and Mux project. From BT's point of view, we were able to use Vena's software-defined networking capabilities to deliver from playout through the contribution network into the coding and muxing centers and out on distribution to transmitters. The scale of the project was absolutely immense. We have 4 or 5 playout sites. We have 2 dedicated data centers. All playout services are replicated across both data centers twice for full resilience. We have 28 regional muxes that we have to feed. There are in total in the platform something like 100 separate multiplexes that are generated with the complication of insertion of service information and single frequency network data. In total across the entire platform, more than 1,000 video encodes take place at any one time, and that's a lot to manage. In order to manage that, we've built our own bespoke monitoring systems that will look at every element of the system, automatically making changes in the event of a fault so that we have a perfectly fault-tolerant network.
The solutions that we've deployed for D3 and 4 take a set of very complicated use cases for the distribution of video in the UK and turn them into a package of work which is simple for our downstream providers to accommodate. This evolution is significant to D3.4 because if you think about the complexity of their use case, so they have 28 regions, each of those regions needs to be available in an active-active context. Prior solutions in this arena were not able to provide that level of orchestration and complexity. This solution allows D3.4 to distribute each of those 28 regions in an active-active context, allows seamless failover between them, and really provides a step change in availability for their platform.
So Media and Broadcast, our core purpose is to bring the best media experience to billions around the globe. And part of our evolution over the last few years is how do we digitally transform our organisation. Recently, a couple of years ago, we launched Vena, our smart broadcast platform, which digitises the entire media supply chain. And what this does with D34 for baseband encoding is a plug-in into that and actually part of a wider ecosystem that allows us to transform ourselves and transform the industry going forwards.
When we envisaged Vena, this is exactly the type of application that we had in mind. There are multiple aspects to the D3 and 4 coding and much platform that stem from, as we said before, contribution right through to distribution. Control of the platform in the hands of the customer is something that we will be able to add to any offerings for future broadcasters. The capability of monitoring we've already demonstrated. The capability for reliable platform operation we've already demonstrated. Quality of service is second to none. Capabilities of the whole network are there for future operators, not just D3 and 4.
I think a key element of why we were very pleased with the BT bid was the strength of the team, and I think also their willingness to work on a very collaborative basis with lots of other people. So sometimes in projects, the people who get the contract and the project want to manage it themselves and they're in charge. I think the BT team and the Attempt team as well, I think to that extent, were very happy to work on a collaborative basis. In other words, they were in charge of their deliverables and their bits of the project which they had to do. But we worked very effectively together to actually work as a sort of bigger team.
The ambition that we set out in partnership with D34 and Attempt was something really quite incredible. And when we look forward to other projects that we'll have with D34 and others, we'll have that confidence in the level of ambition that we can set, looking at technologies 10 years, 15 years, 20 years out there, knowing that with great partners and collaboration, they can be delivered.